Welcome, everybody, to Go Be Great Today, the interactive podcast for all things positive, all things motivational, and all things success. I'm excited. I'm excited for the beginning of this journey. I'm excited for what we become, and more importantly, who we become out of this journey for our individual goals of whatever we attribute our lives to end up becoming successful or being successful, and obviously who we become during that process. So today we're just going to kind of lay the foundation framework. Hey, I kind of just made up a word right there. Found work. The foundation, the framework, the groundwork of what we're going to be developing and building along this process and along this journey of becoming great and succeeding in whatever avenues, aspects, whatever kind of goals or aspirations or whatever we attribute success to be individually. As we'll learn throughout this process, everybody's successes are completely different. Everybody is different. Everybody has different motivations, and everybody has different dreams and things that they are trying to achieve. And so that's the fun part. That is the, really exciting part about this is that we're going to learn more so who we become of ourselves as we're embarking on this journey. So today's the foundation. Me, myself, with my professional background, I guess you could say, I do not know everything, and that's why I suggest and that I call this an interactive podcast because as I'm growing, as we're growing, as we're all growing together, we're all on this journey towards whatever our success is at whatever level and actual spot or step we are in our journey towards success. We will all be kind of learning together and growing together. So I would like you all to interact, to give advice, knowledge, give your own feedback, give your own expertise. We're all successful in something, even though some people may not think that they are successful in really anything. You actually are. I promise you. You have natural talents, things that you have developed, things that are just actually natural to you to where in most cases you don't even notice that you are great in those things. And these are things that other people see in you, in which we're just going to continue to build up and kind of bring to the surface. So that way we can utilize these talents and skills that come naturally to, lead you to whatever successes that you have within life. So myself with my own personal background with business development, business management, it's a sales aspect, and right now I'm in real estate, commercial real estate, and working with entrepreneurs. What I've always had to sit down and do in more of a consultative role is sit with people and kind of create this world, this idea towards something that is usually not even seen at that period of time. Taking it from their mindset, taking it from some idea, being able to put it on paper and eventually allow it to grow and to develop into what is now real estate, these real estate structures. I'm in the business world, entrepreneurs being able to build their business and create their business, create their visions out of nothing. A lot of times we look at any advancement that you look any sort of technology, even the things that we're looking at right now, all came from some sort of idea and some sort of vision where one day somebody woke up and said, let me create something out of essentially nothing. And so I have to take that with my own personal background or professional background, and I have to say, okay, how can I look at this person, understand what they're trying to create, help them along the path to make it easier and set them on that path and essentially work with them to create this. And so that's what Go Be Great Today, the podcast, is about understanding with your interaction what exactly you all are looking to achieve, or what exactly you all are wanting to embark on, what ideas, visions, and because I'm not going to always have these ideas or visions, they're coming from you. They were given to you, and that is your purpose is to fulfill them no matter how lofty or how big they may seem. That vision, that goal, that dream was given only to you to be able to carry it out because of your skills, talents, and abilities that we have to kind of unmask and bring up to the surface. Because, like I said, my mind doesn't work like yours, your mind doesn't work like mine. But how can I facilitate? How can I provide the framework, the groundwork? How can I provide the strategies and the disciplines and the tips and knowledge and advice to helping you to achieve that? And that's what Go Be Great Today, the podcast, essentially is all about. So today, like I said, we're going to be laying that foundation of this development, of this path, this journey, this goal, this vision, this thing that excites you, that sometimes seems a little bit scary, a little bit intimidating. And it's supposed to be. If it wasn't intimidating, if it wasn't scary, it wouldn't be worth it. And it wouldn't be something that really is worth even the journey or even the fight, which kind of earmark that because we'll be getting back to that. So today we're going to be laying this foundation and starting from step one, and then taking this on to step two, on to step three, on to step four, taking action, more importantly, to whatever our goal and whatever we are trying to achieve. So for myself, I always think about it, and we utilize it in business, the straight line approach. We have the journey, we have where we're at now, we have the journey or the goal where we're trying to get to. We're trying to create the straightest line to that specific goal. We understand there's going to be pitfalls, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be obstacles that come up. But along this line that we've drawn, we want to always make sure that no matter what, we're always navigating towards that specific line, as opposed to letting anything hold us back or having anything even worse turn us around. So staying focused on that vision, staying focused, eyes forward, taking a step each and every single day. So that's what we're going to do with this podcast today. So I always like to look at goals and visions whenever I'm sitting down with a client, or I'm sitting down with a business or an entrepreneur, or I'm even talking to people out in public where they're saying this vision, they're saying this thing that they want to have happen, and it almost seems too big, too lofty, too unattainable, too large of a task to complete. But it's in their mind, and it's in their mind. You can almost see the wheels turning whenever I'm sitting down and I'm talking to them or I'm having these conversations with them. You could see the wheels turning. They just don't know just how to figure it out. They don't know how to figure it out. And that's the most frustrating part for a lot of people. There's some people that are on their journey and they're just kind of kind of slipping and falling. They're trying, sometimes getting discouraged. And so that's why we have to keep people on that path, keep people and that's what the motivational part is. We do need motivation every now and then, but for me, I'm more about execution. I do like motivation. I've always watched motivational speakers. I've studied a lot of motivational speakers. I do have some intent eventually to become some sort of what one would call a motivational speaker, but for me it's more so a somebody that is actually going to help someone to create the disciplines, the strategies, to create the successes, as opposed to just getting motivated during that period of time. For me, my goal is to make sure that we actually execute on these ideas and visions that we have, so that we're actually able to attain something. Motivation, yes, it's a spark. It's a spark. But after that spark, then what? After we get up, we're excited throughout the day. Then what? What happens whenever life hits us, smacks us in the mouth? Whenever we're excited, oh man, it's sunny outside. It looks nice. It looks amazing. We're gonna have this great day. I've got this plan. I got my nice, outfit, set out or whatever. This is just gonna be a great day. Blah blah. We're going on vacation. We're going to work. Whatever it is. Whatever. We're just excited for this day. And then, man, well, we got a flat tire. Or we're going on vacation. We're all excited, and then now we're running late, or the plane, is delayed or something, or whatever happens, you end up leaving something at the house. Whenever you look back and you're like, man, I left this. Now your day is bummed. Now what? Now what do we do? Now we're getting in the thick. Now we're getting into the fight of the day, and where a lot of people, their mindset will completely shift. And then it goes from, okay, I had this vision, this dream, this goal that I was looking to achieve. And now, because of this small little inconvenience that we're going to make a lot bigger than what it really is in the grand scheme of things, now we're off focus. And now we're only looking back at, whatever this obstacle was, as opposed to looking forward to remember, as I said, where this goal or this vision, where we were trying to get to. And so for me, it's about bridging that gap and bridging, that straight line, to where from the goal to making sure we stay focused on That's been my path as a personal trainer. For a lot of people that have known me, my goal is to always keep moving that vision at that perfect body, losing that 100 pounds, which I've had a number of 100-pound weight loss challenges, very, very successful. Having people, you know, not only realize that yes, this is the vision, this is the goal, this is what we want. We want to lose the 100 pounds, but it's who we become during that process, which is even more important. So once we get to that 100 pounds, once we get to that goal and that vision, we sit back and we realize, man, that was great, but I actually learned a lot more. I actually developed a lot more throughout this process, and it'll take me on to other parts and areas of of my life, because at the end of the day, it's not just about achieving this one thing and then that be it, because then that would lose all excitement for life. If you were to achieve one thing and you said that's all you will achieve for the rest of your life, well, then what? Then what is the purpose? At that point, life loses its luster. There's no more energy, no more enthusiasm after you've actually hit that goal. And so that's one thing, even with myself, that I have to focus on with constantly creating new and new and new and new goals, is because of the fact that you can't just hit that goal, because I'm going to hit my goal, guaranteed. A goal that I set out to put forth, I'm going to hit. I've done it all throughout my life, from being an adolescent to having this goal of being a collegiate basketball player, which I did 4 years playing collegiate basketball. From having the opportunity to potentially play professional, I did not play professional for a number of different reasons. We'll get into that. There's no excuse, but I did have the decision to, even through a number of different obstacles, and just any goal or dream, things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an entrepreneur at one point in time. I set that goal. I absolutely hit that goal. As far as things that I wanted to purchase just to kind of make myself happy throughout, I've set those goals and I've hit them. I mean, that's been no problem. And I just continue to create more goals and hit them. But more importantly, I've developed and learned a lot of things about myself, which has helped me to grow, even when there are obstacles that I don't necessarily foresee happening. Because of that growth, because of learning who I am, it's taken me to even this point, which is amazing, a completely different path than I initially thought. And I was not a failure. That's actually allowed me to, in the end of the day, what my actual end goal, what I realized, it's actually allowing me to be in that space to hit that end goal. The path that I was on was very, very limited. Now I'm in a path that there are no limitations and I can have a lot broader reach, which we'll get to that. Moving on, I digress. But laying this foundation, laying this framework, I'm with a business owner, I'm with a personal training client, I'm with a person that's sitting here having this goal. I'm sitting here envisioning myself with somebody. Like I say, I get calls, pretty often. People that are wanting to do entrepreneurial things. People that are wanting to do positive things. People see my crazy positive posts all the time. Probably annoying to some, but hey, I'm not going to stop. You're never going to stop, because this is who I am internally. This is who I am. What's ingrained in me. But people ask me a lot of different questions. They say, how can you help me start this business, or what do I need to do to achieve this? Devin, you're always positive. I need some advice on this and that. You can ask my wife. I'll be on the phone till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with people sometimes. It's not ideal, and I have no problem doing it. I promise you. For anybody that has intention of change, intention of doing something positive, of actually taking action. My problem is when you do not take action. We'll get to that. But if anybody has that intent of changing their life, doing something positive, and taking action on it, I will have as much time as anybody needs at any point in time, as long as I'm not in a meeting or business meeting or something like that. I have the time for it. That's not a problem. But my thing is, just don't waste my time. But I digress. Like I'm saying, my wife will tell you that yes, Devin will be on the phone till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. There will be times where we'll be out, and I try to limit this because I have to, be respectful of her time. That I'll get a call, and next thing you know, I'm on this rant, and I'm trying to motivate people, and I'm, trying to give my advice and give my knowledge. As I sit here, I envision myself with people that are behind this camera that I don't even know yet, saying, "Hey, this is my vision. This is my reality. This is what I'm trying to achieve. How can you help me? Where do we start? where do I begin? I'm not sure either where to start, or I'm on this journey. I'm not sure where to go. I'm on whatever level of success or path that I'm on. Maybe you're already successful and now you're trying to create, or you either feel stagnant or you're trying to get to another level of success, or you're saying, man, now everything seems kind of life. I've kind of lost a little bit of luster. I don't have that enthusiasm I had because this was my end goal and I've actually hit it. So how can I create some more energy and more enthusiasm? How can I find another goal now that I've hit this one? So wherever you are in your journey, I'm envisioning myself sitting in front of that person. And so to lay the foundation, to lay that there we go, framework, groundwork, I put it together again. I'd probably need to trademark that. Nobody do it, please. That frown work, I guess, is the new word that I've invented. It's 2025. You can invent whatever word that you want to at this point. It's just laying that groundwork to success and where we're going to grow from. And obviously, the real estate sector, everybody knows, to have a very, very elaborate and beautiful and pristine and nice and huge, amazing, awe-inspiring structure, you have to, the most important part, and sometimes it's, kind of, sometimes they forget about this, but the foundation has to be the strongest. You have to focus on the foundation before you can build anything of substance, whether that be any type of building structure, architectural design, whatever, whether it be actual personal body, mind, anything. You have to start with the foundation and build from that if we want anything to be amazing, not just average, not just last, not just short term, but long term and amazing, and that will essentially last for a long period of time, because we don't want success that's only short term. We don't want success. We don't want the musicians that basically are one hit wonders. We don't want to. There's nothing worse than being successful and then failing, or being that person that's on top and then next thing you know, you look down and you're that person that everybody's kind of looking at, and you no longer have success and you're struggling, whatever. We want that long term residual type of success within our lives. And so it all starts with the foundation. And these are the three most important things that I believe that we need initially to start, or we need just in general throughout any point in our goal towards success. Number one, when creating this when creating this framework, this groundwork, when creating this new life, this new personality, this new being, this new purpose, this new intention, we have to start with your mindset. It has to be a mindset. We have to understand, more importantly, that there are going to be obstacles. Let's just get this out of the way. Let's start with this. You have to understand there's going to be obstacles whenever we're doing any planning, any building planning, anything like that. The first thing that we start looking at, okay, what are the obstacles? What are the potential things that could get in the way of building this structure, this foundation, or building this? We're at the planning stage. The planning stage is going to be very quick too, by the way. We're saying, what do we know is going to happen? What do we know is going to be an obstacle? First thing, we know there's going to be obstacles. There are going to be pitfalls. They shouldn't surprise you. They're not going to surprise you anymore. We know this. Expect it. Like going to each day, almost expecting, not nervous, not scared because of it, but expecting, okay, I know that, okay, there's going to be whatever. I'm not worried about that, because at the end of the day, we've got this goal that I'm going to hit. So as these obstacles come along the way, we're still focused on the end goal. We're still focused. We're still running that marathon. It's not a sprint. We're still running that marathon. As we're slowing down and things are getting tough, and things are getting piled on our back, and life is trying to pile more and more and more things on our back. Hey, walk if you have to, crawl if you have to, and that which brings us to the importance of who we have around us and our team, and there'll be times where we'll have to rely on our team, and that's where Go Be Great Today, the podcast and the interactive community, will come into play. If you do not already have your own team, if you say, man, I just don't have these resources, some people have this family, these friends, these networks that they can tap into. I do not have those resources. Well, guess what? Now you do. Go Be Great Today, the podcast, the interactive network, the community. You now have an army. You now have a, for lack of a better word, I don't know disrespect to military, but you now have a lot of soldiers, a lot of people. You now have a community, a team that is going to be there for you and with you, including myself. And you know one thing, if people fall off of the podcast, that's no problem. If they never listen again, that's no problem. I don't care. I'm focused and we're focused on those that are looking to achieve success, that are going to be positive and that are going to continue to take action. I understand people aren't going to, everybody's not going to succeed. My success rate as a personal trainer was very, very high because I was intentional about who I even brought on as a client, and I made sure that we achieved the goals that we wanted, and I put everything into, but I wanted to make sure that more importantly, I had the right people around me so that I knew that these were the people that were going to potentially um, and I'd say that to say I wasn't, there was never a point in time where I turned anybody away that I felt had any intention. A lot of people, and I would ask them, tell me to be honest, if you do not have this actual goal or intent, or you do not actually want to achieve this, just don't waste my time. Like if you're just doing it just to click, just because it's popular, as everybody will see with Go Be Great Today, the podcast, and with this community, there'll be some people that will not initially join, and or they may join and then jump off, and they start to see us in the community. People start talking. It'll be the popular thing, and people see the merchandise. People see people talking about it, or whatever. Will be on TV, will be on the news, will be on the radio, all that. And then people will want to come back because they'll see all of this energy. Well, those people were not serious in the beginning. So my thing is, I will give as much energy and effort into people that actually want to. Now, if you feel like, okay, yes, I would like to achieve some level of success, I just do not know exactly how, or I've struggled so many times, yes, you can 100% be on the team and I will help. That is my purpose, is to give that spark, to create that energy, to pull people along, make sure it connects people. That's what Go Be Great Today, the podcast is, this network to connect people with people so that we have a greater chance of success. So I do want to, explain that a little bit further. But so you have your mindset, you know that, okay, things are going to be hard. It's no problem. I know that. I know I'm going to come up on obstacles. We've got that. That's part of the foundation. That's the cement that we poured on the foundation. Now, the surroundings being important, the next step, knowing who that you have around you, having that team around you. You now have Go Be Great Today, the podcast. You have this community, this network to tap into if you don't have your own personal. And what's more important than probably almost anything, and you can look at, and if you study any type of, because I do a lot, I study a lot of different types of great individuals throughout the history of the world. If you study them, if you listen to them and listen to what they're saying as far as success, almost every single one, I believe every single one that I've listened to and studied and researched. I don't watch TV. I listen to hours and hours and hours and hours and tons of hours of podcasts because of successful people, because I'm trying to be in that framework. I'm trying to surround myself in that network. Everything I put in my mind, I want it to be positive. But I've listened to all of them, and they've said the most important thing is who you have around you. They say you're the average of the five people that you have around you. Your network determines your net worth, that type of thing. But just in general, they say who you have around you, who you have in your circle, the people that you have around you. A lot of people will talk about eliminating your haters or eliminating people that are holding you back, eliminating people that are just have negative vibes or negative intentions or negative. It sucks sometimes. It sucks not necessarily with those people that are just active haters that are always hating, that are always negative. Those people are easy, and it makes it a lot tougher when you have to look around and it's the people right next to you. It's the people that promised they would be there for you. It's the friends that you've had for many, many, many years. I was just in actually a couple different scenarios where I was talking to a business professional, entrepreneurs, younger entrepreneurs, and they were saying one of the hardest things that they had to deal with was that it was family, close family, like parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, that were the most negative, to the point where one guy was telling me that, and I hear this all the time, but this was actually just a couple days ago, which is why it's so fresh in my mind. But he said he literally had to completely eliminate himself from that environment during this period of his path where he was actually achieving success in his entrepreneurial startup and his dreams and getting on his path, and he was actually making the money. That was the craziest part for him. He was making the money. He was actually making more money than they were at that period of time in his journey to his success and his path. But he said they were still being negative. They were still weighing him down. And he just said, you know what? I just had to. He said it took 2 years of just no communication, not telling him what he want to do, not telling him what he was trying to do, not telling anybody anything. And these were his close personal parents and family members, because he said every time that he actually brought it up or every time they were around, they were just weighing him down. Now he's appreciative of the fact, and I'm not telling anybody to do that, no, but this is just how real this part of this, and this, I guess you would say, example is that it could be people that are very, very, very close to you. And until they realize and see that you are successful, until they realize and see that you have to take care of yourself first, because at the end of the day, they are just trying to essentially take care of themselves. For people that are that selfish to try to knock somebody off of their dreams, remember that they are essentially only worried about themselves. If they're not happy with your success, with your path, with your goal, with what you're trying to do, they are just selfish, and that they are trying to knock you off of your path. So those people we have to eliminate. We have to get it out of our circle. We have to, if nothing else, love them from afar. Not saying you have to love them any less, just love them from afar. Can't love you right now, a friend, family member, whoever it is. I can't right now. I just absolutely can't right now. And so we have that. We have that family member, we have that friend, we have that whatever, creating that tight knit circle, that team, that network, that those soldiers that you have on side to side that are going to help to get you to that next level, that you're going to need to call on whenever times get tough, that you're going to look for inspiration whenever time gets tough. You're going to call on these people, and they're going to help build you and pull you up when times get tough. You're going to be the same for them. And then obviously you get an energy from helping other people out throughout their journey. So that circle is very, very important. So you have the mindset, knowing that things are going to be tough, having a circle around you, having your team around you that you need to link shoulder to shoulder and arm to arm to know that, hey, sometimes I'm going to have to pull them up, sometimes they're going to have to pull me up. But you're in this circle, you're in this network of people that are always moving forward. And then third is action. It's the most important thing. The first two things we have to know. They're mental, they're more so whatever, like just framework, groundwork. We know this, boom, 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 instant action. Instant. That's why I say go be great today instantly. From the first word is go. The action is go. Be, being who you are. This is now a different person. Go right now, be who you already are, and who that is great. Go be great today. That's where the podcast, that's where this mentality, that's where this new journey, this new framework is. Go be great today. Who you already are, go now, not tomorrow, now. Actively do it. In my background with exercise science and with fitness, there's this, we talk about action. It's all about action. Like Marshawn Lynch, it's all about that action, boss. The most important thing is about action. We could sit there all day long, and what happens a lot of times, especially when I talk to these business owners, these business professionals, these entrepreneurs, people that have dreams and visions and different things, just in general, it doesn't even have to be an entrepreneur. It could be somebody that wants to be an actor, actress, athlete, or whatever. They have this idea. And what the first thing they do, they say, "Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for sure this time." What do? They say, "Okay, all right." So they pull out their notepad, they pull out their iPad, they pull out their pen and paper, they sit down, and then what do they start doing? They start writing this huge list. huge list, because I'm gonna do it this time. I'm gonna do it this time. I promise. This time, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the time that I'm gonna do it. I'm so committed that I'm writing everything down. And then they look down at the end of the day and they've got a long list of almost seems like obstacles. Mentally, subconsciously, you've got a long list of what almost seems like a daunting list of obstacles. Yes, you can look at it as tasks. We can reframe that. We can reshape that. We can look at it as tasks that we're going to check off. But at the end of the day, subconsciously, this is kind of what takes it. So for me, I say start actively working, start actively doing, start actively committing. Start moving towards that direction. Now, we can take notes, and it is important to take notes. It is important to know what we're doing, but it's taking action. Even with building, when I'm sitting with these developers or I'm sitting with anybody, whatever that's trying to create something, create a business, create this structure. Initially, what they're doing is they're actively getting information. We have this thing in we have this thing you may have heard is called active listening. It's not just listening to sit back and, think all day long. It's actively listening. I'm listening with an intention. It's personal training. We have active stretching. So we're stretching. We're not stretching just to sit back and relax or whatever. We're stretching with the intent of moving forward, moving towards that goal, of moving towards getting ready for this workout. So that activity, that action, that movement is going to propel us. And as we're on that path, we're actively listening, we're actively taking notes, we're actively taking observations, or we're actively seeing what's going on and being able to move and shake along that path. We're just taking notes. Okay, I'm observing this, I'm seeing this, I'm writing this down. But at the end of the day, we're not stopping. We're not sitting back in our chairs and then just writing. We're actually moving towards that goal at the end of the day, consistently and constantly, never stopping and never sitting back and just writing things down. So being active with your listening, being active with, your learning along the way, and being active towards that path. So that's kind of the foundation, and not to make this too long, on that foundation of what it's going to take to be successful. We've got this foundation. Think about those three things: your mindset, knowing that, hey, from this point forward, it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, it's going to whatever. That's fine. We understand that, we know that. Surrounding, we know that, hey, we're going to have to cut some things off, going to have to cut some people off, unfortunately, because at the end of the day, this is for me, this is the one thing for me, and we'll get to that. Even if you're trying to do something for someone else, or your success or your goal or whatever is to help your family, your friends, that's very, very, very important. That is your why. We will use that why in the future. I'm telling you, that is a extremely important part. If your why is internal, there's nothing wrong with that either. Everybody's going to have their why, and it's actually going to be even deeper than what most people essentially know or think that it would be their why. But anyways, so your active surroundings, knowing who you have around you, who is important to you, and who you have in your circle, because life is going to be tough. There's going to be things that are going to come up, and you're going to need that person to lift you up, and you're going to have to lift other people up. But you all are chugging along. You all are going on this path towards success and towards goals together. And you're all bringing each other up. So that way it just helps. So you're not alone in this. You will have somebody to kind of help you on this path and pick you up. So that way that eliminates some of the chances of failure. We're eliminating opportunities for failure by having this strong circle around us. And then, like I said, the active listening, the active learning, we're going to utilize that for just as we're going on our path. Know that we're going to be continually taking notes. We're going to be continually observing. We're taking observation, and we're learning as much as we can, not only about what it takes to get there, but who we are as our own personal selves. So that is the most important part. And I saved it for the last, that I was going to talk about this 100 men versus one gorilla. Now, my observation, could 100 men, and this is why I actually had to redo this video, because when I did it last night, or I did it yesterday, I was like, you know what, it was kind of, it wasn't negative, but it was just like, that's kind of silly. But I kind of reshaped my framework, reshaped, how I was thinking about it, and wanted it to be a more of a positive message. And it's that whenever you have this goal, or make it corny, goal rilla, this essentially this goal, this lofty thing that we're trying to achieve that we know is massive. It's a massive undertaking. When we're looking at it, we know that, okay, it's going to take a lot. This almost seems impossible. This almost seems almost unattainable to achieve. And so that actually takes you to the three initial foundational steps that we need. So whenever we're looking at that, one of the most important things is that one, starting with step one, we know that this is going to be an obstacle. We know that there's a huge gorilla behind this cage, and we're going to have to attack this gorilla. It's not going to be easy. We know this instantly. I think that one, more than anything, that is the most prevalent and the most obvious of the initial observation of what the situation is. Number two is who you have around you, your team, your circle, your triad, your, whatever you want to call it, your network, knowing that, okay, when it hits the fan, whenever everything gets down to it, when this cage gets open or whenever we get down this hallway and standing in front of this gorilla, I need to know who it is that I have around me. And this is the important part, who I have around me that I'm going to be able to call on, that I'm going to be able to be in this fight towards our journey, towards success, towards our goals, towards our ambitions, and towards whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. Who am I going to have around me to be able to call upon? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to fold. There's going to be a lot of people that, as the gorilla turns around, they're going to run. You don't need those people. There's going to be a lot of people that are just going to be sitting there saying, oh man, oh, he can't achieve that. She can't achieve that. They can't achieve that. Whatever. You don't need those people. You can't rely on those people. They can't be in your inner circle. We can love them from afar, but they're just going to be there critiquing and talking down on. We don't need people talking down on our goals and our visions. We need people that are going to be right there, shoulder to shoulder. So as we start looking around throughout this fight, throughout this journey towards our goals, just look to see. Even if you don't have to mention it to people, but even if you do, and you start seeing people speaking negativity into your plans, into your goals, those are the people, hey, nah, you can't be in this circle. I'm sorry. I've got a goal. I've got a vision. I've got a plan. I've got a purpose right now. I can't have you in this right now. I apologize. I love you from afar, but right now we can't. And so we're linking in shoulder to shoulder with Go Be Great Today, the network, the podcast. We're linking in shoulder to shoulder with these people that are all on our pursuits, all on our individual pursuits, and we're chugging along. And as we're looking at this person, we're watching them shoot on. We're like, man, that's giving me energy. That's giving me energy. Okay, let me start run a little bit faster. Let me start running a little bit faster. I got to keep up. I got to keep up. As I say, this train stops for no one, literally no one, not even me. Even this own train for myself. So if you see me down, hey, I have no problem. Accountability piece. I have no problem saying, hey, Devin, hey, silly, hey, goofy. I'm not feeling the energy. I'm not feeling blah, blah, blah. Devin, is everything going okay? Devin, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. We got to do this. And that's what this community is about. That's why I need everyone to be commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing. I need everybody to be giving information, tips, knowledge. As we're growing, I want to know what advice and everything that you all have. And so that network, that team that's surrounding is going to help during those tough times. It's going to help us to achieve our levels of success. And as I said, just being active. Now, once it comes down to it, we look at this gorilla, we look at this goal, and we're standing there and we're saying, okay, well, I've got the people that are around me that are strong. The whole 300 analogy. What is your profession? I got positive people. I got warriors. I got soldiers with me. I got people that are ready for this fight, people that are prepared for it, people that are working hard, people that are on their own journeys to success. We all have the same goal, and that's attacking this goal. We have the same goal. That's attacking this large, lofty dream or vision that we all have, and we're all doing this together. So I've got a lot stronger people in my circle to help me to achieve this, and we're going to attack this together, as opposed to spending our time trying to build up or trying to pick up people that are running away, and we're running away. Next thing you know, we turned our back. Like I said, we've turned our back on this goal that we have because we're busy chasing people that are running away or chasing people that are sitting there stagnant talking down on us. No, we stay focused and we stay on that path with the people that are linked in with us that are on their own journey. And so that's why that's important to keep your network strong, the people around you strong. This is a journey, this is a path, this is a foundation. This is a very important and integral part of where we're going as a journey. This is just kind of just a vanilla, very just informative, informational, just what this podcast is about, what this journey is about, reshaping, reframing our mindset, getting prepared for this battle that we're going into moving forward, being this new person, that having this new great outlook on life, energized and motivated outlook on life. And now we're starting this new knowing with enthusiasm, knowing that you have people around you that are going to make this easier and going to make this lofty goal attainable. Now we'll start to dig in future, and probably the next podcast or future podcast, of what exactly the skills and talents and the abilities that we actually have that can help us to achieve our goals. We're going to dig into the disciplines that it takes, and we're going to dig in just the little strategies and step by step things that it takes to basically help us to achieve our goal and to make sure that they happen strategically and with purpose. So that will come on a future podcast. This is just the start. This is the beginning. Please like, subscribe, comment below any ideas that you have for future podcasts as well. Any ideas you have for people that you want on here, for anything that can help. Like I say, this podcast is going to grow. That's why I wanted this one to be vanilla. I almost wanted this one to be a little bit long to see who's going to actually watch till the very, very, very end. So that was my purpose. I want to see who's my shoulders. Who's actually in this fight? Who's in this for the long haul? Not who's just going to fall off. I'm not worried about those people. If we have 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, whatever small amount, that's no problem. If we have 3 people, but we all achieve our goal, to me, that's 1,000% better than having millions of people that are failing. That's just numbers and hype. Trust me, I did this as a personal trainer. I had a large following, but I could have had a ridiculous large following of millions and this and that. I did not want that because I knew that out of the millions, my success rate would have been very minuscule, as these people with these huge followings typically is. For me, I wanted to affect each person individually. So that is me to the core. I'm not just saying this. I'm saying I would rather have smaller numbers, which they will be big numbers. Trust me, I can guarantee that. But I would rather have that than have a bunch of people just kind of leeching on and just kind of there for the ride. No, I want to affect change. I want to make these dreams and goals happen. So thank you. I appreciate you. I won't take any more of your time. Just be ready. Next Monday, next podcast will drop. I'm excited for this opportunity. I'm excited for what we're going to become of it, and I'm excited to see just how great you can be, not only today, this week, and for the future. Today's the day. Today's the start. Today's a new beginning. Go be great today. Peace.